Oh, it's a zombie! Don't let him bite you, Timmy! You'll get AIDS. Zombie games have been around for a long time. In fact, back in the 80s, they were usually referred to as ghouls. And it was really gross. I think nowadays people associate zombie games with the Call of Duty series. They built an entire franchise around killing Nazi zombies, and sometimes the games took place on the moon. The fuck is this? I think by now the market has been oversaturated with zombie games. Like, there's a lot of them. The Plants vs. Zombie games are pretty okay, and hey, they didn't feel the need to push a dumb lesbian love story to keep people playing. But the one series that has stuck with me since I was a kid was Sega's House of the Dead. This was an arcade game, which meant that it was really fucking hard, and you'd spend a lot of money, and you kept dying on the fucking fish. The game is an on-rail shooter, which is what a lot of arcade games from the 90s were. Virtual Cop and Time Crisis are two pretty good examples. Except there you shoot actual people instead of zombies. Jesus, this was for kids? If you haven't played a game like this in an arcade, you're really missing out. There's no better feeling than holding a giant plastic toy gun and shooting everything on screen. Thankfully, a lot of these games would be later ported over to consoles, so now you can experience the fun of an arcade shooter without having to leave the house. Go you. The House of the Dead series has quite a few entries, and to my knowledge, they've all been ported to multiple consoles at this point. The original House of the Dead is on the Sega Saturn, which brings that console's library up to a total of 6. And its sequel made its way up to the Dreamcast. And then they did it again. But this time they replaced the guns with keyboards. And the zombies throw spoons at you? I'm not joking, by the way, this is something they actually made. The series has also appeared in other games. There's a track in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, and it's also a tennis court in Sega Superstars Tennis. So, you know, if you ever wanted to watch Sonic and Friends smack a bunch of zombies with tennis balls, well, there you go. Here's the game for you. Now, the one I played the most by far was House of the Dead 2. Mainly because it was ported to the Wii, so I did not spend too much money when I died, because when I was younger, I kept dying to the fucking out. In any case, let's boot up the Wii and get your remote ready, and it's out of batteries. Fuck. I always loved the warning image on the Wii. It looks more like a case of domestic violence than an accidental smack at a Wii remote. Remember, kids, if the police come knocking, just tell them you didn't tighten your wrist strap. Should be okay. Dude, no. Alright, don't fucking zombie scream right in the ear? No. Oh my god, why are there so many options? Before I talk about the game, I wanted to make note of the cutscenes. See, when a lot of arcade games were being developed, people really didn't understand voice acting. A lot of actors weren't giving any scene direction, which meant most of the lines sounded way out of place.
No! Help me! Need to hurry.
And this game is full of them. In fact, a certain somebody is leagues above the rest when it comes to bad delivery.
Dogs of the AMS. Time they made a move.
There is a story to the game, but I mean, I just want to fucking shoot things. Like, is it really that important that we know why they're zombies? They were dead. And then they weren't dead. That's good enough for me. You play as Agent James of the AMS, a man whose driving skill is as clean as his suits. Seriously, throughout the entire game, this guy's suit does not even get a single drop of blood on it. The game takes place in Italy, and your job is to investigate why there's zombies everywhere. I mean, if everyone in the town is dead, then who's making spaghetti? The man behind all of this is a guy called Goldman. And oh boy, he's definitely a person.
I am Goldman.
I think my favorite part of the whole game is that Agent James does not give a flying fuck about the situation he's found himself in. Every line of dialogue is spoken in the same tone.
Don't care who it is, no one's gonna get away with this.
Would want to get on his bad side. The other agents aren't much better, but they are at least somewhat aware of what the fuck is going on. Agent James just sounds like he's giving me a lecture on a 20-year mortgage with a 15% interest rate. That's not a good deal, James! Don't do me like that! The cutscenes are probably the most iconic part of the game, and I can see why.
How could anyone do this?
I mean, whoever the hell they got to play Goldman must have never had to form a sentence before. Whenever he raises his voice, he gets this weird accent. I can't even tell what it is.
To protect the life cycle.
I get that he caused the whole zombie outbreak thing, but all he does is sit in his big office and politely greet people. In fact, throughout the entire game, he's constantly referring to the Asians as his friends. After every stage, you get closer to Goldman's location, and when you finally confront him, he doesn't really say much. His grand plan was creating this weird-looking water zombie thing called the Emperor. I assumed this was going to be used to kill off all of humanity, but I mean, the thing was stopped by a couple of bullets from a handgun, so it couldn't have been that threatening. It's a cool boss, though. Now, I know what you're thinking. How are the agents going to handle Goldman now that he's lost? Does he have a backup plan? Would he make a cool escape? Oh my god, he kills himself. They really don't make games like this anymore. But okay, so the thing that makes House of the Dead so fucking cool and replayable is just how fun the gameplay is. Like most arcade shooters, the game is essentially on rails. You only really control the character while you're shooting. And the satisfaction you get from completely annihilating a zombie is only amplified by the flashy visuals and crunchy compressed sound effects. Special mention to the guy who tells me when I need to reload.
Reload!
Yeah, I know. Okay. At its core, the game design is very simple. See a zombie, aim for the head, hope to God you don't end up shooting someone else. Fuck. But it never feels too repetitive. See, there's a lot of different zombies. I mean, you got the basic ones, swamp creatures, ones that run directly at you, ones with 2 fucking chainsaws, Jesus Christ, ones that bounce all over the walls. How do they do that? Then there's the ones that look like robots, and even one with a lightsaber. My all-time favorite has to be the ones that chase you in a car. I don't know why, but it just looks really dumb. Because the game is on rails, there's no options to avoid attacks. See, in any modern zombie game, you're given a whole area to run around. There's never really a moment of panic or urgency, since there's always a buffer between you and a zombie. But here, zombies just spawn continuously, sometimes from far away, others right in front of your face, and that creates panic. It creates tension. It creates a scenario from having to shoot like a million fucking owls. The game expects you to be quick, like unfairly quick. Besides shooting zombies, there's also civilians to save, bonus items to pick up, extra lives, frogs. And yeah, you could just focus on shooting zombies in front of you, but letting a civilian die or not acting quick enough actually determines what route you take. So now you have more than just one incentive when it comes to paying attention to what you're shooting at. Don't worry, lady, I'll save you. As this is an arcade game and you actually have to spend real money to play, saving a civilian from dying and getting an extra life is like hitting the fucking lottery. Also, some of the dialogue from these characters is hilarious. I'm convinced the voice actors were not told this was a zombie game.
Don't come! Don't come! Go away!
My only real criticism is that the timing for saving somebody is really slim. Like, there's next to no margin of error here. If you don't shoot a zombie within the first 3 seconds of them appearing, you fail. And it's bad enough that you miss out on like the bonuses, but the characters also guilt trip you. Maybe if you didn't go to Italy during a zombie outbreak, you wouldn't die, you stupid bitch. It also doesn't help that you're expected to shoot zombies, save civilians, and break pots and crates that might have bonus items in them. Sorry, old man, but I have a really good feeling about what's in that pot. I haven't really talked about the game's bosses. At the end of every stage, you face off against a really big zombie, and some of these things are fucking terrifying. The Headless Knight and the Blue Eyes White Dragon are pretty cool, but holy shit, was getting chased by a 20-foot tall chainsaw-wielding zombie scary. There's also a little fish man. Thought he was neat. The last 2 bosses, though, it's just unnecessary how hard they made them. You know, it's really difficult to kill something when it won't stop fucking moving. The game is pretty short, and you can complete it in about 30 minutes. Kind of the standard for an arcade game. I think the majority of people will have fun with the first half of the game, but fuck me does it get cheap towards the end. So expect to see the game over screen a lot. It's a shame arcades aren't really popular anymore because these type of games are really fun. I think the House of the Dead series is something that a lot of people should play. It has very fast and engaging gameplay, great music and sound design, the voice acting and cutscenes are iconic and laughably bad, and overall the game just looks really cool. After a bit of research, I found out that they remade this game. Oh boy, it looks terrible. I have a big issue when it comes to video game remasters. For the most part, companies either lazily port over a game to a new system and then charge you full price, or they remake the game and remove any type of character or charm from it. For an arcade game released in the late 90s, a big part of that game's charm came from how it looked. Character models, lighting, overall art style, they were all heavily influenced by the technology at the time. Remaking something like this with modern graphics removes any of those limitations, and what you end up with is a game that is pretty visually boring to look at. I mean, this game looks like any generic first-person shooter that was released in the last 10 years. The Crash Bandicoot remake trilogy from a few years ago is a perfect example of this. It's technically a really good-looking game, but it doesn't have the same level of appeal or charm like in the originals. This looks like a fucking soulless mess. The lighting is way too dark, making it hard to even see what the zombies look like, and shit, they even replaced the voice lines.
How could this happen?
So, don't buy the game. The reviews alone should tell you how terrible it is. Play the original, you get to hear Goldman in all his glory.
I have made a creature to rule over mankind.
Okay, who ends a sentence like that?